Hey guys, I know that Sam's got to leave in like 7 minutes, so we should probably get him into the conversation since he's got to bounce early, and the rest of us can run our mouths afterwards.
Which means, okay, so right now we're gonna turn this into a dumpster fire real quick. Sam versus David, Org, and Andrew. Starting now. Uh-oh. Here we go.
I'm happy to do it, no problem. Yeah. But before I just destroy all of those guys, I just want to say that I'm very grateful that I stumbled upon your channel. I think it was about maybe a year and a half ago, and just started trolling all your comment sections and everything. And so I think you deserve way more than 3,000, but it's a start, and congratulations.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. I'm glad you stumbled across the channel as well. I've met so many great people getting into this over the last couple of years. So this is, I mean, if it were 2 years ago I was doing a stream, there would have been me and maybe my mom would have joined. And now 2 years later, we got a room full of whatever, 10 people. So I appreciate that, brother.
Thank you.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this to start it off because Rational Empiricist, he's always got good, challenging questions. That was a good discussion we had last week. Start off with a challenging question, and whoever wants to start, Sam, if you want to start with an answer to it, since you've only got a little bit, why don't we start it that way? So, Empiricist, what's the best you got, my good man?
Okay, so it can be anything?
Fire away.
Fire away.
All right. What do you think about Big Bang cosmology?
I think it's a disaster.
What specifically about Big Bang?
Well, you can't even explain how a single planetesimal was created or a star. I know you have your theories, but in a vacuum, planetesimals only get about the size of a shoebox, and then they start breaking each other apart. So we don't know how those were formed. There's no explanation for the gas giants. A star can't form unless it's under pressure, and it can't have pressure unless it's in a container. When gases heat up, they expand. We only see stars burning out, which create a supernova, a nebula. So they suggest that's where stars are formed, but we know that's the remnants of a dead star. And I mean, what else do you need? We don't see stars form. We see them burning out, and so you're trying to explain this countless number of stars by subtraction. So you've got some problems. Would you like more?
Well, let me say that none of that has to do with the Big Bang Theory.
Exactly.
But I guess to be more specific, or how about this? I'll give a specific example. What I think is evidence for the Big Bang Theory, as scientists describe it, and then you can give your rebuttal. How about that?
Sure. We can try.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can try. All right. So what do you think?
I literally have 1 minute. I have to go.
Okay.
I do weird stuff on Tuesday nights. I'm going to a Bible study.
Okay. So since Sam has to leave, if he wants to say anything about this, or if anyone else wants to say anything about this, how does creation explain the CMB? I'll just leave it at that.
The cosmic background radiation?
Yes.
I will double with an event horizon. The cosmic background radiation really isn't. I mean, that's not a problem, right? Because that could also be just leftover noise from the creation event, but I believe that the cosmic background radiation is actually declining, right? It's getting less, so that means I wonder
why do you think it's declining?
I believe they've measured it. I'm not really sure about that, though.
Right, but like, what's the mechanism explaining why it's declining in temperature?
Well, the fact that it is, I believe, puts a limit on how long ago it could have happened. Like a shelf life. Do you see the problem with that? And then also the way that temperature has spread out through the cosmos, that's a problem too, because I believe that it has to break the speed of light.
Wait.
I believe so.
What?
Something. Do you know what I'm talking about, John?
Wait, are you saying the Big Bang Theory? Or I think this is actually something I wanted to get into. Sorry if I'm kind of taking up the chat here, but like a common misconception about the Big Bang Theory is that it describes an explosion, right?
That's semantics. I mean, because I think you're going over
it's
15
not.
times the speed of light that that expansion happens. So even though you do have mass expanding, you say that it's because space-time was expanding, it doesn't count. Like it's a gotcha. It's not really traveling. It's space-time expanding, but it's still going way faster than the speed of light.
The relative distance is not changing. That is the point. The scale factor is changing. The relative distances between points are changing, but their coordinates relative to each other are not changing. So therefore,
how come it's going so
moving?
How come it's going like what caused the rapid expansion to slow down?
To gravity?
Gravity. You don't have gravity until you have mass, and you don't have mass without gravity.
Exactly.
Wait. Well, the gravity. What?
What gravity? You have this rapid expansion, right? You have space-time spreading out, and it's, gosh, I'm wrong, but it might be like 13 times. It might be 15 times the speed of light. That space-time is expanding, and then all of a sudden it just slows down to now it's 0.2% the speed of light, which is a drastic decline. So what caused it? What caused it to start going that fast, and what slowed it down?
Exactly.
Where'd you get the 0.2% number?
Because we can measure the rate at which the universes are traveling. And
right.
I think they're currently now going at 0.2% the speed of light. But in order to get from point A to point B, when the space-time was expanding, it had to be somewhere, I think, do you know, Jungle? I think it's like 13 or 15 times the speed of light.
Right. Well, I would say that, like, if say you have the Milky Way.
The current numbers are this is as of 2018, 70. During inflation, it was likely some 10 to the 50th times the current speed of light, and then now it's 70 kilometers a second per MPC.
Yeah, I think right now I think that works out to be 0.2%. So my question for you is what caused the Big Bang, right? It had to be something outside of space, time, and matter because of the law of causality, right? And we know because of the event horizon and thermodynamics that it hadn't been going on forever. So there's two problems, and I think even most secularists agree that there was a cause, and it was about 13.6 billion years ago. So what kicked it off, and what caused everything to slow down?
Well, before I answer that, can I say something to that speed limit first of all? So the 70 kilometers per second per megaparsec is not really a speed per se. It's a speed per distance, obviously, which isn't really a speed because nothing is moving at that. It's kind of contentious because it's relative to how we're measuring distance, basically.
So I'll explain. Can I give the example that you guys use? So if you had a balloon that was barely inflated and you took a Sharpie and you drew some dots on that balloon, as you continue to blow the balloon up, those dots would move apart from each other. So you would say technically they're not moving faster than the speed of light. It's space-time expanding. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so you still have the problem of what started that and then what caused it to suddenly slow down. I mean, even if you want to say that it's not matter that's moving, okay, but you still have the same problem. What caused space-time to expand and stop expanding?
Well, before we move on to that, so you would agree that nothing is moving relative to space-time itself?
I would agree that's what your model says.
Okay.
I would agree that's what your model says, yes.
Okay. So, repeat the question one more time, please. what started the Big Bang, I guess, is what you were asking.
Sure.
Okay.
Energy.
So it's a three-part question. What started it? What was the initial catalyst? Why did it initially go exponentially faster? And then why is it now going exponentially slower than it was? And what caused the increase in speed? What caused the decrease in speed?
Yeah.
Well, the first two questions we don't know the answer to, but the third question is gravity. Because
wait a minute. If you don't know the answer, then are you telling me that you have a faith position? You don't know, but you believe that it happened. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
I guess Legos don't exist then.
So you don't have faith that it happened?
No, I don't have faith.
Okay, then prove it.
Okay.
You can't. I don't know how you can have it both ways, right? If you can't prove something, you have to have faith that it happened, because it could turn out that you're just totally wrong.
Can I make an analogy?
Sure.
So, I have this set of Legos, for instance, and I place them on the ground. I start playing around with them and building new things from them. Okay, you would agree that the Legos exist, right?
Only if the next time Standing uses vehicles for an analogy, you don't object.
I will say this. Empiricist, he is one of the first who did not strawman and say cars don't reproduce. So I appreciate that.
Hey, Andrew.
Then we'll move on.
Andrew, let's try a different analogy than Legos. Okay, so you are standing on one side of a wall. Okay, and then you see a baseball or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's some kind of ball comes flying over the wall. Okay, so you now see it flying through the air, but you cannot see what caused it to fly. You don't know if it was somebody hit it with a freaking baseball bat, they threw it, they used a slingshot, it was a cannon, whatever. You have no idea because whatever launched it was on the other side of the wall.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so you have no idea what caused it to come out at the velocity at which it did, correct?
Right.
Okay, would you say that's a fair comparison to what caused both the launch of and the speed of the universe?
Right. I would agree. That's what I was saying, that even though we don't know what caused the expansion initially, we do know that the universe is expanding from a certain set of conditions.
But isn't it kind of... isn't it kind of circular, though, because you're just assuming something that you can't prove?
Okay, let me go back to my analogy, for instance. Do I assume that...
hold on.
Since I don't know that how Legos were manufactured, therefore they obviously can't be played around with and can't be used at all, and they don't exist, obviously.
Well, Legos exist, but here's the thing. Okay, so can I modify John's ball? Let me try to modify John's ball analogy.
Okay.
You actually don't see a ball flying through the air. You see it just kind of barely rolling across the field. It could be anything. It could be wind. It could be that it expands. Someone threw it, but you don't know. So you see this ball that's slowly rolling, and you say, you know what? I think that ball went traveling at 10 to the billionth power, whatever it was, some ridiculous amount, even though I can't prove it, but I just really want to believe it. Because all we know is we can see these universes moving very slowly.
Galaxies.
But we can't really prove anything. So you first have to assume what you're saying is true, and you have no proof.
Right.
And now you want me to believe it also.
Right.
Because all we really know is what we observe.
Right. I assume the Big Bang is true, therefore the CMB must exist, because if we take the expansion of the universe by itself, I would agree that doesn't necessarily mean the Big Bang state happened. However, if we say, okay, if the universe was once in this hot, dense configuration, basically, that extended throughout all of space, then there should still be the leftover of that kind of radiation period throughout all of space, and that is what we see. And in fact, it matches specific conditions or properties, basically, that can only happen if the entire universe was once in this hot, dense configuration.
That's not well. See, so I would disagree with that because you don't know, and like you just said, you are assuming something, right? So your argument is circular because there is another explanation, and the cosmic background radiation. From what I understand, your prediction, although you predicted that you would find something, it wasn't a very specific prediction at all. It's kind of like, I think that we'll find something. Oh, look, we found something.
Right. Well, from when the expansion of the universe was discovered by Edwin Hubble in the 1920s, the age of the universe based on that was highly inaccurate. The error bars were like tremendous, basically. Like one of them was that the early universe happened was in that state about 3 billion years ago, and obviously that's contradictory with other estimates of the age of the Earth, for instance.
This is what I find funny and kind of hypocritical from the evolution side, and then I'll yield, is how they say young Earth creationists have a distant starlight problem, but it's them that have the problem with the fact, and you guys have been talking about inflation and the horizon problem with the temperature of the cosmic microwave background radiation is essentially the same in every direction that you look. So it's the uniformitarians and the naturalists that have the real light time travel problem, because even if we assume that Big Bang time scale, okay, there has not been enough time for light to have traveled between those regions of space to make for a relatively with the same temperature everywhere. So it's hypocritical, and what we're seeing here, it seems like there's a lot of like maybe this, maybe that, dark matter, dark science, dark energy, maybe inflation. You know, the light was able to exchange heat during the early part of the universe, but it just there's so many unknowns, unknown after unknown, when it comes to Big Bang cosmology. So that's just my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I would agree. And so I would also ask you, what Big Bang do you believe in? Do you believe in the old one where everything was like, there was this big massive thing that was millions of light years across that blew up? Or the smaller one, or the moon came from the earth? Or, I mean, what Big Bang? Because it just continues to get falsified, right? Over and over and over. And so, but instead of falsifying it, well, I know you never will, because it's the anything but God theory. But the reality is that, you know, and just like you said, a few years ago it was totally different, right? Because it's unfalsifiable. But like you admitted, new evidence will draw a new conclusion. So nothing you have is based on fact, because you really don't have like an objective model.
Okay, can I give what the actual Big Bang Theory says?
Which one? The current one?
The Big Bang Theory.
Well, the current one?
Big Bang Theory.
Are you going to use the Big Bang Theory that there was like a rock that was millions of light years across, or are you going to use the current one? Which Big Bang Theory?
The Big Bang Theory in its form that it has always existed, which is that the universe in its entirety, everywhere, was once in this hot, dense state, and has now expanded and cooled into this, less dense, less hot state. That's all the Big Bang Theory says, basically.
Well, it used to be something totally different.
It
used to be everything was a huge rock.
Sam, you have to remember that Andrew is very, very young. And he, in modern education, previous theories are like removed. They're rewritten. History's rewritten. They never existed.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Then we'll go with the one that he's talking about now.
It's just like with evolution that like, oh no, nobody ever thought that the original version of Darwinism was true. Nobody ever actually thought the punctuated equilibrium was a thing. And then neo-Darwinism, like we stopped thinking about neo-Darwinism a long time ago. We're on like modern synthesis. Oh, well, actually, modern synthesis, that's kind of that's outdated now too. We're on extended modern synthesis. I mean,
and John, and when it comes to uniformitarianism, no, that no longer exists. It's actualism.
I mean, and it was never an actual monkey that we evolved from.
I mean, we never the inflation model. It's always been the inflation model. No. Sorry, actually, no. The inflation model was inserted way after the Big Bang Theory was originally postulated, because they couldn't explain some of the things that Sam has been bringing up. So that's where the whole inflation model came into play.
Right, and then you have like the different composition of the planetesimals are totally different, and so that's when they say, well, it must have been from, because originally it was one big thing that blew up, and then it's changed. But like I said, like there's no explanation. If you pick any planet in our solar system, according to the Big Bang model, it can't exist. And any correction to the model to try to incorporate all of the individual problems, it might get better over here, but over there it makes it far worse.
Sam, a comet did it.
A comet did it.
It was a comet. It was a comet or a meteor.
Are you guys saying essentially that refinement isn't a good thing?
No, so ultimately, and then I really got to go because I'm going to be late. But ultimately, you guys are arguing something as a fact that you really have little evidence for, and even if you have a strong position today, a new piece of evidence might overturn it tomorrow. Therefore, everything that you could be arguing today, like junk DNA, right, 99%, could all be overturned tomorrow. So, so ultimately, everything that you're saying today is not. But now, the Bible, on the other hand. The Bible has been around for a long time, and there are some specific predictions in the Bible. I mean, if anyone who has ever read it, you've got the single mother, the single father, you've got the global flood, you've got the oceans of the deep, the currents of the ocean, you've got the unlimited amount of stars, which at a time they would laugh at us because of that. They thought they could count them. So the Bible makes a lot of specific predictions, and as time goes by, we don't have the option of simply changing them every time the wind blows a different direction, right? But as time goes by, our model is solid. So and you guys don't have that. So just all I'm saying is, tonight, as you're arguing, just know that it's possible that today they found something that upset your whole worldview, and you will learn about it tomorrow.
Okay, let's let Andrew respond then.
And then I gotta go. But I hope maybe if you guys are gonna go later, I'll be able to join. But I gotta go. So,
all right.
Standing congratulations, man. It couldn't. I'm really stoked for you and your channel.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all the support, man. Always a pleasure.
Right on. Take care.
Take care.